Welcome back, guys. We are here for another Trophy Lodge tour with Kendall Gray. We're going to be showing off our Great Ones and Super Rare Lodge today. So if you guys thought the last one was crazy, this is about to get even more insane. And, well, I'm just going to let the Trophy Lodge speak for itself. So let's get straight into it. Be sure to sub to both of us if you haven't already. It'll be up on screen if you're not aware of Kendall's channel. And, yeah, let's jump into it. Oh, hi. I see you took jump into it, literally.
I did, yeah.
All right. Drum roll.
Oh my gosh, I can already see so much. Oh, I kind of want to keep my head down for some of it. I'm gonna keep my head down and follow your feet.
We'll walk backwards, okay?
All right.
So let's walk to about here, and then turn around.
Wow.
That's a diamond albino red deer and a diamond piebald red deer across from each other.
Dude.
Hold on, we gotta pause things for 1 second because there was something that I forgot to mention before going into this tour, and that is the fact that this is a lodge that has been built over the course of 7,500 hours of playing the game ever since lodges came out in the game. And on top of it, I use a grinding method called herd management, which is known to increase the chances of getting diamonds by a pretty high amount if you do it properly, although it can take tens and tens of hours, sometimes 100+ hours to get it to that state. But it is a method that increases the chances of diamonds, which in turn increases the chances of a rare becoming a diamond whenever you spawn it. And then on top of it, it is also widely suspected that it increases the chances of Great Ones spawn. So I always like to mention that before going into these types of tours. For those of you that may be unfamiliar with the method, it is 100% approved by the developers to be an okay way to play. So let's get back to the video. They are pretty ridiculous looking. I would say that probably out of the two, this piebald is my favorite because it's bigger. It's the nice big rack. But I mean, they're both nice. They're both really, really cool. And definitely tough to get. But not the only thing. We're gonna go over here to the left. I feel like that's gonna be the best way to look at stuff without spoiling too much too early. Okay. We're gonna skip over probably just the little diamond fillers like this diamond harlequin duck. But above it, this will be the first great one we see today.
No, dude. Look at that.
That is the Big Rack Great One Whitetail.
Is that the biggest one in the game?
For the whitetail, yes. This is the biggest rack the whitetail can get, and it is just absurd.
That is wild. Looks like something out of a deer farm.
100%. And that's what it gets compared to all the time. Is it's like an escaped farm deer. And if we come over here, we've got a couple more Great One Whitetail. One of them, this one right here, we call this one the Kinsko rack. And the reason for that is because the first content creator to post a video of this rack was my buddy Kinsko. He was the first to put one of these on YouTube. And so because of that, we just call it the Kinsko rack ever since. Because it was the first one that was posted was from him. So that's pretty cool. And across from it, this is like a weird wonky 50-50 rack. It's like a crazy, crazy combination Great One Whitetail. He's got on the, his right side, our left side, that is called the drop tine rack. You can see why it's got that massive drop tine.
Yeah.
And the other side, we call the cluster rack because it has that big cluster on the tip of the beam. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty uncommon to get them combined into one set of antlers.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's crazy.
Yeah, and everything else here, this was just like random rare tar that I got during my tar grinds. So we won't.
Are these all diamonds and specials?
They're all rare fur types. No diamond ones, but all of these are a rare fur type.
Okay.
They look pretty cool, though. I like the rare tar.
Yeah.
And if we go over here, we're going to see another melanistic pheasant, just like the last lodge.
Wow.
They're just so pretty. I love them.
Yeah.
And now we turn our backs to the hallway and walk this way and look up at the wall.
Whoa.
A bunch of massive diamond moose. A couple of cool tar. This is a diamond tar over here. Next to a piebald red deer. And another diamond tar on this end. Then there's one great one on this wall. This is another one of the big rack ones. Mm-hmm. And it's probably one of the most common racks that you will get for Great One Whitetail. I see so many of these spawn compared to the others. But they're pretty cool still. I do like them. Next up, this room is where things start to get absurd. This mount in front of us with these whitetail, these are all super rare whitetail. All of them are diamond, albinos, and piebalds.
That's insane.
They are pretty crazy. And this albino is kind of a special albino as well. In fact, all of these are. Because all of these, I got these without herd management. These were just like regular super rares without any type of like grinding to make diamonds more common. So I got these 2 piebalds 1 day apart on Rancho del Arroyo.
Now that's what's insane. That ain't normal.
That is crazy. Yeah, that's probably one of the luckiest moments I've ever had in Call of the Wild was getting these 2 back-to-back days without any form of herd management or anything. I was just blasting every whitetail I saw back then. And this albino right here was kind of the same way. I was thinking about starting a grind on Revontuli Coast, so I decided, you know what? We're going to go to Revontuli Coast, and we're going to try to find our whitetail zones. And this albino was in one of the zones when I first discovered it. Just a crazy, crazy trophy. Now, turn directly behind.
Okay.
Got a couple of little tar right here. Oh, there goes my voice. R.I.P. We got a couple little diamond tar. Nothing too, like, insane compared to some of the other stuff. But what's up on this wall is where it gets kind of wild. You're going to see the first glimpses of some Great One Black Bear. The Great One Black Bear to the far right is the fabled chestnut. That is my favorite fur type for the Great One Bear. It is just... They're just stunning. And then right to the left...
Crazy color.
Yeah, it's insane. The one to the left, that is the fabled spotted Great One Black Bear. Another really cool fur type for them. And then we will kind of go past the moose and the tar because they're not anything super insane and go to these next 2 Great One Bears. Both of these are fabled glacier, but you'll notice they look different. There's actually 2 different variations of the fabled glacier black bear. And they both look super cool. The one on the far left, it almost looks like the ghost mask from like Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's so cool.
Like Ghost.
It's so cool. Right next to us, to your left, this is our first glimpse of a fallow deer Great One.
Ooh.
This is the rack that we call the blade rack. And that's a fabled hooded fur type as well. Super, super pretty. We have some on full body mounts, so you'll get to see the fur type a little bit clearer later.
Okay.
What did I have here? There's just an empty mount. I must have had a Great One there and then put it in a multi-mount or something. Because I know I had something there. This right here. This is a diamond fox with my most recent Great One pheasant. That is the fabled sapphire Great One pheasant.
That's crazy.
It's so pretty. I love the sapphire so much.
It's really cool to be able to come in here. After hunting a long time, we get to see a lot of the really basic ones, but it's so cool to come in and see what there is a possibility for.
For sure, for sure. And honestly, I cannot wait until we manage to get a Great One to spawn on one of your maps. I think that's going to be...
Dude, it's going to be crazy.
And this will give you a good idea of what there is for each species, so you can kind of decide what you want to go for even.
Yeah.
These black bear right here, it's another fabled spotted and another fabled glacier. We've seen those already, and another fabled spotted. So I've got a lot of duplicates because I think there's only 6 fur variations for the Great One Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 5 of the 6, which is why I keep grinding. I want that 6th one. I want the fabled spirit, but I've just not been able to get it. This guy right here was one of my more recent ones, I think. Fabled cream. Actually, no, this was from January of 2024. So it's been a while since I killed this thing, but it's still pretty. It's really, really pretty. And up on the wall, we have another fabled glacier. Across from us, we have another fabled spotted, as well as another fabled glacier. My voice is dying from all these trophy lodges. So that about does it for this room right here. Okay. A pretty crazy room, right? This is like my bear room primarily. Now, we're going to walk backwards for here because
okay,
we've got some pretty wild stuff. I'll tell you when to stop right now. Now, right on this little entrance, there's nothing too crazy. A couple rare tar sitting here. Turn to the left though. and you will see the first great one red deer.
No. It's got vines on it?
It's pretty ridiculous.
That is crazy.
And the crazy part about it is the red deer great one's probably the least exciting great one in the game because it only has one fur type. One fur type, the fabled spotted, and it has 5 different antler variations, but they all look very similar. So just to think that this is probably one of the least impressive ones and it still looks this impressive, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Now, you turn to your right. This is another multi-mount of all super rare whitetail. Well, except the melanistic. The melanistic was a melanistic level 3 whitetail, but it was 0.03 below diamond, which was pretty sad because this rack almost never trolls. It's almost always a diamond for this cluster rack. Or not cluster rack, the crown, basket rack. Basket rack. That's what it's called. Up on this wall over here, we have a super rare piebald red deer. Beautiful piebald diamond. This has the same rack as your diamond red deer. And then everything else up on that wall is just like diamond tar, so we'll skip past them. Look directly behind you. This is my favorite trophy in this lodge, probably.
Is that a great one?
That is a great one. That is the fabled two-tone typical rack great one moose.
That is crazy.
And my second favorite is right behind him. Right here.
Oh.
The two-tone big rack great one moose.
And is that a quail?
Yep, that's a quail. It's part of the multi-mount, so I had to throw a little quail in there. But it gives you some pretty cool poses, which is why I wanted the quail in there. Because without the quail, the poses aren't as cool. I mean, just look at that. It's on the nose. The quail is just sitting on his nose.
Oh.
It's so cool.
It's so crazy.
It's such a cool mount. Now, if you look directly behind you,
okay,
it's a moose haven over here.
Oh man,
it's a moose
Is that
party.
a great one? That's got to be a great one, right?
It is, but this was back when you could still get a common fur type for a great one moose. So when the great one moose first released, they did like a live stream showing off all the cool fur types that you could get for the great one moose. And then when they fully released it, they were like, oh, by the way, those are extremely rare and you'll probably never see one. And most of them are going to be a common fur type. So after like a week of the community complaining and rioting about them, you know, not telling us that until it fully released, they eventually made it so you're guaranteed to get a fabled fur on a great one moose every time. So this is something you can't get anymore. You cannot get a brown fur type great one moose anymore. Now, right behind it, we've got my only super rare moose ever. This is a diamond melanistic. I have never killed another super rare moose. I've killed I think over 15,000 moose. And this is the only super rare one I have.
Wow. What about this one? Oh, great one. Great one would still be a level above super rare, or no?
So it depends, really. But in most cases, a super rare will always be tougher to get than a great one. Because not only do you have to get it to like spawn as a diamond, but it also has to have a rare fur type, which is also incredibly tough. So great ones, you can usually get them within a few thousand kills. But super rares, if you're not herd managing, it's like a 1 in 20 or 30,000 chance of getting one or something ridiculous like that. If you're herd managing, it's more like 1 in 5,000 or 1 in 10,000, but it's still incredibly tough. So yeah, these two great one moose, these are also back when they had common fur types. It's actually the only ones I have with this set of antlers. I've never got this set of antlers since they made it guaranteed to get the cool furs.
Yeah, like a double.
Yeah, we call this one the quad paddle. It's probably my least favorite of the moose antlers, but it's still cool. This guy right here, the fabled speckled spider rack, pretty sick.
The what?
The fabled speckled spider rack moose.
It's got blue eyes.
Isn't that so cool? A lot of the great one moose do have colored eyes. And then I think, did we look at these? No, we didn't. These are 2 leucistic pheasants.
Wow.
Leucistics are quite nice.
Super cool.
And then these are a couple of diamond pheasants. And up on the wall, probably one of the smallest piebald moose you'll ever see.
Is it a special? Or did you, because you like it?
I mounted it because it was a pet. We left it on our map for like a year before we finally killed it.
Oh, why did you kill it? It'd been cool to have.
The only reason was because I stopped grinding moose on Medved, and so I was like, you know what, let's go take him down for a video, and then we'll continue our grind on Leighton.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now this is a pretty sick room here. You're gonna see a lot of really cool great ones in this one, but it isn't our main. This wall right here, this is a fabled painted fallow deer with the blade wreck.
Oh wow,
super pretty. The fabled painted's such a cool fur type. And then as we kind of go over here a little bit more, we've got another great one pheasant. This is the fabled garnet.
Ooh.
This is actually the only plumage type for pheasant that I've got two of. Pretty cool looking. And then right here, I did something different with these big rack whitetail just to, switch it up a little bit. I just mounted the antlers like that. And one of the main reasons for that is because this one on the far end here is broken. It was my first ever great one whitetail. In fact, first ever great one I ever got was this guy right here. But an update that the devs pushed out broke any whitetail you shot between the release of Rancho and the next update. And so anything you shot then has a rare fur type, even though it wasn't rare when you killed it. So when I killed this, it was a common, and then the update broke it, so it's a piebald. So I just keep it like that. Then next to it, fabled Morganite great one pheasant.
Now that's crazy.
It's really pretty. It looks kind of like pinkish.
Have you killed
Very
a lot
cool.
of pheasants?
Yeah, I'd say so. Since they released the great one pheasant in December, I've killed close to 5,000 pheasants in total. And I've got 7 great one pheasants.
Wow.
Speaking of great one pheasants, that's what we're going to look at next. Look at those. This little green one on the top, that was my first fabled great one pheasant, the fabled emerald. And then below it is the fabled ruby. Super pretty. And then on the end here, we've got the fabled citrine great one pheasant and another fabled garnet. The citrine's kind of unique.
That's weird.
Yeah, the yellow is the citrine. It is probably one of the, I guess, most controversial of the fur types for them, or plumage types. Like, half the community loves it the most, and the other half hates it.
Huh.
It's very, like, one way or the other. Now, this right here, this mount right here, this was my first ever great one black bear. And it just happens to be, it just happens to be the max score that a great one bear can get as well. This is my only max score great one that I've ever killed.
That's huge.
It is massive. And what's even crazier about this guy is this took me about 2 years to get, 1.5 to 2 years to get, and I killed 8,300 black bear to get him. It took me 8,300 kills to get my first great one bear. But man, it was crazy when I finally did. And next to him is my only super rare bear. That's a diamond cinnamon.
Ooh. Because cinnamon is a rare.
Yeah, it's a rare. So this is the only rare diamond bear that I've got out of almost 18,000 bear kills in total.
Is chocolate rare? Is there a chocolate?
There's a brown fur type.
Is it rare?
Brown is rare, yes. Brown, cinnamon, and blonde are the 3 rares for black bear. Then over here, this little mount, this little whitetail mount, these guys, the reason that we have a great one and 2 super rares together instead of like 3 great ones or 3 super rares is because I got these guys all within 2 days.
Wow.
All within 2 days of each other. The first day I got that albino, and then the very next day I killed the diamond piebald and the great one in the same live stream. It was so ridiculous.
Oh, live stream too.
Yeah, it's one of only like 2 times that I've got more than 1 great one or super rare in a stream. Just absurd. And then this wall is a bunch of like miscellaneous diamond pheasants that I got during the grind. And this corner was my first fabled chestnut bear. I love the fabled chestnut. Now you can actually see the full body of it.
Yeah.
They're just so fluffy and bulky. And then we've got the, I think, only albino pheasant I've ever killed. I think this is my only albino out of all my grinds. They're quite pretty.
Oh, yeah.
And then right up above, another diamond albino red deer.
Cool if it said which map, maybe.
Oh, that would be so nice. I would love it if they would do that. Yeah. I don't know why, man. I don't know why we don't get that type of stuff for the lodges here. It'd be so helpful to have. And oh my gosh, imagine if you could do a name tag, or like you could write a description of the trophy and then, you know, access that info anytime. Cool. Yeah, it'd be so awesome. Okay, so now we turn a little bit because we don't want to see the main room yet.
Yeah, we do not want to look into the special room. The special room behind us is going to be the room of all rooms.
Oh, yeah.
We got more
moose.
Moose?
This is the fabled ashen typical rack great one moose right here on the end. And then we have a few rares that I got during the grinds. On this side right here is a great one red deer behind you. You can kind of see how, although you've seen 4 or 5 different racks for the great one red deer, they all look about the same. They're very, very similar looking.
Yeah, the vines kind of...
It covers up any, like, differences, really. Like, here we've got some more great one red deer. This guy is the big rack. This is the biggest it gets for the red deer. Aside from, there's been a couple that were killed that were in the 280s of score and just look super wide, but they're very rare. I still don't have one of those, but I'd love to get one. I got a few miscellaneous rare tar and stuff, and then more great one red deer on the end. Trying to find what is my most recent, because I killed one recently that was a new rack that I had never seen before. It was this guy right here, I think. Maybe? Yeah, I think this might have been it. I'm going to have to do a quick little skim through them and see. Oh, no, it's this guy. It's this guy right here. So we actually already looked at this one, but I didn't really talk about it as much as I should have, because this one is actually really, really rare. If you come back to the middle. Where are you?
I have accidentally went into a secret room. I'm trying to shut the door.
There you are. Okay, there you are. Right over here. Right over here. So I actually already showed you this guy, but I forgot to really talk about him. This right here is my most recent Great One Red Deer, and it is the only one I have of this rack. I didn't even know this rack existed until I started comparing it to ones I already had, and I was like, wait a second. This scores really high for the rack that I think it is. And so I started looking, and it is different than all of the other ones I have. It's it scores pretty high, but it's got a different like tine configuration than the big one would. Like this guy next to him to the left, this is what I thought he was this one. But he's definitely different. It's subtle differences, but every single one of these red deer on the wall is a different set of antlers. But there's just so much similarities because of those vines.
And the fur, I guess.
Yeah, because there's only one fur available. I really hope one of these days they revisit them and give them like 3 or 4 new furs. Be really cool. But now we're actually going into that room you accidentally went into. That is the next one on the stop. We're going to come in this way and look at this wall first. Got a baby moose.
That bear. Oh my, that fallow deer.
Isn't that beautiful? That is the fabled silver fur type with the spoon rack.
It doesn't really have points.
Yeah, it's just completely palmated.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's wild. And if we look to his right, that is the cluster rack great one whitetail.
Yep.
And if we look to his left, you'll see a diamond albino brown bear. This is not like a normal one. This is actually a guaranteed mission animal that you can find on Medved.
Okay.
So if you do the missions on Medved, you will have a chance to kill a diamond albino brown bear, which looks phenomenal in the lodge.
7 hours to complete all the missions.
Oh, it took forever for me to get to it. Like, I had already done a few hours of missions, like, years ago. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this thing for a video. And it took me, like, another hour and a half to get to this guy.
Okay, I might be able to hop on and do it then.
Yeah, you can get all the missions done in probably 7 hours or less. Next to it, though, this right here, one of the coolest racks that you will see for the Great One Whitetail. This is my second favorite, the drop tine rack to the left of the bear.
That's cool.
It is one of the most impressive looking Great One Whitetail. Just so stunning. And the one to his left is probably the most unique. A lot of people call this one the short rack because it's the most like short and small of all of them. But it's still a cool looking great one. And if you look behind us, right here, look at that fallow deer mount. Look at this fallow deer mount.
That is so good, dude.
So this little guy with the orange fur, that's the fabled painted. There's two fabled painteds in here. The guy in the middle, that's a fabled hooded. All three of these have what people have dubbed the Irish elk rack because it looks like the Irish elk did back in the prehistoric days or whatever.
That is super cool.
Yeah, they're pretty fancy. But while they may be really impressive, the one on the wall might be a little more impressive. This guy right here, right above me, that is the fabled golden big rack or typical rack. People call it big rack or typical rack, but it is an impressive looking fallow deer.
Yeah.
And then to his... Go ahead.
These great ones have really added a lot to the game. Although I've never seen one in my game. But it's nice because it gets you out there and it makes you kill a lot, and that makes you see a lot of what there is.
For sure. Like, they are really, really awesome. I ever since they added great ones in, that has been like my primary focus. Because at that point, like, I had killed a lot of the rares and diamonds that I wanted. And so the next step was, you know what? I'm going to try and get all of the great ones if I can, too.
Yeah.
And also to the left of this great one fallow, we've got two super rare fallow, a diamond piebald and a diamond albino, which are quite nice looking. And then two big rack whitetail, which we already have seen a bunch of these, so we won't spend too much time on them, but they're quite cool. Now we get into more red deer at the end of the hall. Lots of red deer. All right, let's look to the right first, because the coolest stuff is to the left. And that may sound crazy considering this is three super rare not whitetail, but fallow deer. Diamond, piebald, albino, and melanistic.
That is so cool.
They are just so pretty. The mela is the only diamond mela I've killed. The piebald, the albino, we've seen a few of so far, but that is the only melanistic one I've got. And then on the wall, we've just got miscellaneous diamond fallow deer as kind of like fillers until I get great ones to go there. And on this wall, three more great one whitetail, but you may notice this guy in the middle is pretty wide. He's a little bit wider than the average buck. And he scores about like 13 points higher than the average would be for this set of antlers.
Ooh.
He is quite the impressive little buck there. Next to him, we also have another drop tine rack. My favorite. Well, one of my favorites. And then let's look up on the wall now.
Okay.
These guys aren't great ones. This is just like miscellaneous diamonds, but it looks cool. I like the way the moose kind of like tie this wall together.
Oh, yeah.
They look super clean.
Super cool.
And behind you, my favorite fallow mount of all time.
Oh, my gosh.
This is my top three favorite combinations that I've found so far.
Are these great ones?
These are all great ones. This guy right here that you're looking at, that's the fabled silver with the blade rack. This guy that I'm next to, this is the fabled painted with the big rack. And this other one right here, this dark one, that's my favorite combination that you can possibly get. The fabled mocha with the blade rack.
That looks really good.
I love the mocha. The mocha it's just such a cool looking fur. Just such a beautiful, beautiful fallow deer. And so now at this point, it's really just the last three rooms. We've got obviously our big main room and the two rooms that are next to it. So we're going to have to be careful not to spoil that big room yet.
Okay.
Going at a little bit of an angle because we still have a couple great ones to look at outside of the door. Right here. We've got
left or right?
Right.
Okay. I see you.
We got the fabled ashen great one moose, and next to it, probably the rarest great one moose I've killed. It's a fabled oak,
wow.
but it's a mixed rack. It's a 50-50 rack. Super unique.
Again, they have blue eyes. That one did.
Yeah, the blue eyes really are so cool. There's only a couple of fur types for the Great One Moose that does the blue eyes, and it's just beautiful. Now, on the other side over here, we got two more spider rack moose, a fabled oak and a fabled ashen.
Yeah.
The fabled oak's kind of it's kind of a pretty one. I don't like the fabled ashen as much. It looks very similar to a normal moose to me. But I really like the oak. The oak's pretty.
Yeah.
Inside of here is nothing too insane. It's just diamond moose from the grind and a few rare tar, I think. So we won't really spend too much time in here. Directly across from it, though, directly across, we've got a couple of great ones and my favorite albino diamond ever. This guy right here is my favorite, like, super rare that I've ever killed.
Wow.
The diamond albino big rack red deer, and it was maximum weight as well.
Wow.
One of the rarest super rares I've ever found. And above him, you'll see a very tiny deer. That's Gerald. He was one of our pets from one of our grinds. And I told everybody that once we got the great one, I'd kill Gerald and mount him. And so that's what we did.
Oh, Gerald.
So poor Gerald's in here just because of that. And then across is some pretty cool stuff. We've got ourselves some cool diamond fallow deer, cool diamond moose and stuff, and a couple of great one red deer. And probably the coolest thing on this wall is the top right. That is a piebald diamond whitetail, and it's the biggest one I've ever killed.
Yeah.
For rare whitetail. This is one of the most recent ones too, November of 2024.
That ain't long.
No, not long at all. Oh, and these guys are kind of cool. Piebald red fox.
The fox? That is did you say piebald?
Yeah, it's piebald.
Yeah, those are super cool.
Both of those are piebald, and yeah, they're stunning. But this brings us to the final lodge. Or lodge room. This brings us to the final room. The big room. The big boy room. Now, I want you to look straight down.
I'm going to look straight down and follow your feet.
And instead of going one mount at a time, I just want you to look up and take it all in at once because it's an impressive room. Look around now.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
This is the room.
There is so much antler in here.
There is a lot. There's a lot. This is the main room where the majority of my whitetail go and also some of my favorites. So let's start with this guy right over here. These were the first 3 great one fallow I killed. All of them got the spoon rack. Actually, maybe they weren't the first 3, but they were the first 3 spoon racks I killed. A fabled silver, fabled golden, and fabled hooded. This fabled golden was the first one I ever killed. I got it the first day that the Great One Fallow was released. I did a 12-hour live stream shooting nothing but fallow. I killed like 400 and some fallow in that time, and we got him on day 1. It was kind of ridiculous. And then literally like a few days later, we managed to get the fabled hooded here. And a few days after that, the fabled silver. But right behind them is one of my favorite moose. This is my favorite moose fur type, the fabled birch.
It's a really cool looking one.
It is so unique. Now, my dream moose is to get this fur type with that big, like, set of typical antlers. But for now, this is the closest I've got. This is one of my favorite moose trophies. So pretty. This wall, more great one red deer. Like I said, they look all the same, so we won't spend too much time on them, but they're still cool. And this is a sick mount right here. 3 drop tine rack great one whitetail deer. But the cool thing about it is not only is it 3 great one whitetail deer, but each of these is a different configuration. If you come look at this guy with the camera, you'll notice that one brow tine is taller than the other, and the tip of one antler goes further in than the other. This guy has one of each possible antler you can get for the cluster rack, or not cluster rack, the drop tine rack, and the 2 that he's mounted with are the full version of each of the antlers he has. So this one over here that's closest to us, it has super tight tip-to-tip spread. The one in the back has super wide spread.
Okay.
And the guy in the middle, he's a mix of both. It's kind of a cool little setup.
Yeah.
And then this right here, these are a couple of big racks mixed with a cluster rack. And this middle one is the same, 2 cluster racks and a big rack, but this middle cluster rack is incredibly high scoring and wide.
Oh gosh.
He's just super wide compared to the other ones. And right here is 3 big racks, if I'm not mistaken, including one that you may see a gold trophy rating on. Yeah, we won't talk we won't talk about what happened there. But yeah. Now we've got a few more down here. This is actually the lowest scoring cluster rack I've ever killed right here in the middle. His antlers are super tight. He scored like 386, which is like 20 points lower than they normally do. Now, up on the wall, this is my Great One Tower wall. And one of these is the one that you saw me take down. In fact, it's this guy right here.
Crazy?
Yeah. This guy on the left side, the Fabled Skull, that's the one that you watched me take down. Super cool looking. And this guy was the one I took down like a couple weeks before it. This one next to him. Super, super cool. And this one, it also has a gold score. Gold scoring Great One because, yeah, apparently aim needs to be a thing to get a trophy down successfully. But top is a few more Great One Whitetail with same racks we've seen. This is another tar right here. This is the Fabled Snow. And he's kind of crazy looking. This was from my longest tar grind ever. I killed over 3,400 tar to get him. Quite a stunning beast.
Now that they did the update on Tiawara, are you going to do a grind there?
I don't know if I will, because I've already got my Sunder Pattern grind set up really well. So I don't know if I want to go through it again, especially since I'm doing Red Deer and Fallow on Tiawara already.
Okay.
All right, next up, we got this mount here. We've got a couple of... actually, this is 3 different racks here. We've got the little short rack guy here. Middle one's another Kinsko rack, and this side's a cluster rack again. But this cluster rack's a little more special, because this was my second Great One ever. This little guy over close to me, he was the second Great One I ever killed. And I got him off of Leighton Lakes when I wasn't even doing a grind. It's the only one I've got when I wasn't doing a grind.
Wow.
And the only reason I found him is because they changed, I believe they changed like some zone positions or something on Leighton. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to find all the zones and do a guide on it. And I found him like towards the end of discovering the zones. Now, this right here is going to be the most unique whitetail mount of them all. And that's why it's the last mount that we're looking at today. This guy in the middle, you will notice that he looks quite different compared to the other ones. Yeah. If you see the antler on his right, our left?
Yeah.
That is the typical rack I talk about all the time that I've never killed a full one of. It is incredibly rare. I mean, a Twitch streamer by the name of I Buy Premiums, he has over 200 Great Ones. He's got double what I have. And he's never seen a typical rack whitetail, and he's killed over 100 Great One whitetail without getting a full typical rack. And I've got 2 of them here that are 50-50s. I've never got the full thing, but I've got one side has it and the other doesn't. But the reason this one in the middle is my favorite also is the other antler. That's one of the Kinsko rack antlers, but it's super twisted and squished for some reason, which just looks really crazy. It's almost got a little crab claw coming off of it.
This is quite the collection you've put together.
Yeah, this is about 140,000 kills worth of trophies. Lots and lots and lots of kills to get all these guys.
Yeah.
And many, many years.
And what is your number one favorite kill of all time? Do you have one?
It's so tough for me to pick just one favorite kill of all time that I end up putting it into categories like favorite great one, favorite super rare, and then favorite like normal diamond. If we're talking great ones, I honestly don't know if I can really pick. There's probably 3 that I would consider to be my top. One would be this guy right here. This two-tone typical rack moose. This guy is a beast. And his buddy right here is also one of my favorites. These 2, they're definitely in the top 3. And then the third one in the top 3 would be the last guy we looked at right here, this guy in the middle. Just because I'll probably never kill a great one whitetail that looks like him ever again. And then when it comes to like other trophies, it would be this albino diamond red deer in here. This guy is probably one of my favorite trophies of all time.
That's super cool.
My dream trophy is to get a diamond melanistic red deer, and I've never got it. I've got a few piebald, a few albino diamonds, but never a mela. This guy's the closest thing to being like my perfect red deer trophy, so that's why he's my favorite non-great one trophy.
Dude, that was sick.
Dude, I'm surprised that only took 40 minutes. The other one took an hour.
Well, the other one had a few technical difficulties at the front, I guess, maybe.
It did. It had some technical difficulties, and there was more like trophies to talk about because we didn't skip over as much.
This is really cool.
So after all that we've seen in here, what great one do you think you want to try and get? What species looks the most interesting to you out of all of them?
Honestly, I would even say black bear, but also fallow deer.
Good choices. Good choices, because the fallow is probably the easiest one to do if you hunt on Tiawaroa. It's really easy to set up a fallow grind on Tiawaroa. And black bear is also really easy to set up if you're hunting with someone that knows how to set it up. So we could easily get a bear grind going as well. We could probably get it done in, like, obviously it would be a multi-day thing. It wouldn't be something we could do in one day, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I can set up a black bear grind alone in 30 to 40 hours. But if you have more than one person helping you, it's usually 20 hours or less to set up a bear grind. And if you don't want to herd manage, you can set it up in under an hour.
Really?
Yeah, it's super easy to set up if you don't want to do any fancy herd managing or anything. Same with fallow. Like, if you're not herd managing, it's as simple as just like finding 10 zones of fallow deer that are in herds and just setting up a tent at each of them. So we could honestly get it going pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to go the route of herd managing to get more diamonds and possibly more great ones, then we can do that as well. It just takes a lot longer to set up. So it really just comes down to whatever you think you'd see yourself being most interested in. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun. We have officially showed off every single trophy in both of our main lodges now. If you didn't see the first video, go check it out. It was a banger. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one just as much as I'm getting slowly walked around by KG.
Quickly walked around now.
He's zooming. But anyway, guys, go check out KG if you haven't. Link will probably be in the description. If you haven't already subbed to the channel, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Boom.
Boom.